which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we begin the meeting, we will have the swearing in of our new commissioner.
Great, and I have the honor and privilege of doing so. Brian Coolidge with the County Attorney's Office. Some space here. All right, so, you done this before?
No.
Okay, well, this is a treat. Love it. Get ready to defend a lot of stuff. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. Okay, I state your name.
I, Arnoud Terschur,
Do solemnly swear
swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
that
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California.
and the Constitution of the State of California.
That I take this obligation freely,
I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
about which I'm about to enter.
about which I am to enter.
Thank you. We'll sign here. I'll sign below that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, well, with that item of business taken care of, let's move to roll call.
Commissioner Rodriguez-Gibbon,
Present.
Commissioner Esser.
Here.
Commissioner Malay,
Yes.
Commissioner Terschur,
Yes.
all present.
Yeah. Ooh. Later in the agenda, you'll see we'll have a discussion. We'll actually allow our new commissioner to introduce himself, and we'll tell you a little bit about ourselves as well. But first, we will proceed to public comment.
All right, spoken public comments will be accepted during the meeting in person or remotely through Zoom. Public comments in person will be taken first, followed by speakers on Zoom. You will be called on by name to speak when it is your turn. If you wish to speak to the commission, please fill out a speaker slip located near the conference room door. If you have anything that you wish distributed to the commission and included in the official record, please hand it to the staff person for the Parks Department, who will distribute the information to the commission members and staff. For speakers on Zoom, please use the raise hand function to indicate you would like to speak for an item. When the chair calls on public comment, click on raise hand. Speakers will be notified shortly before they are called to speak. You will be provided ability to unmute your microphone and begin speaking. Public comment is limited to 2 minutes. No speaker slips for this item. No hands raised on Zoom.
Then we will move on to item number 5, action to set the agenda and approve the February 5th meeting minutes. Commissioners, are there any adjustments you would like to make to the February meeting minutes which were attached to this packet?
No.
Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the minutes and set the agenda?
So second on the item 5 on the February 5th meeting.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please signify by saying nay. Okay, thank you, Chair. Your motion passed.
We'll move on to the report from the San Mateo County Parks Foundation. Hi, Michelle.
Hey.
Always good to see you.
Always good to be here. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Michelle Beasley, Executive Director of the Parks Foundation. A couple things that I wanted to share. In 2 weeks, we have our ribbon cutting at Memorial Park for the Nature Center, which is very much the vision of the Parks Interpretive team. But the foundation paid for all of those improvements, so we are putting together a ribbon cutting on Saturday, March 21 at 10 a.m. We have 66 people RSVP'd so far. Emma Catherine, Supervisor Ray Mueller, and County Manager Mike Callaghy are our speakers. We're going to have food from the Livermore Outpost. People can RSVP until March 16th, and the interpretive team will also lead a hike, hopefully to see some steelhead. And then our artist for the Memorial Park poster, Rebecca Holland, will be on hand to sign. So that's the ribbon cutting. This Monday closed the submission period for our third round of San Mateo County Park posters. We are commissioning artists to create artwork for Devil's Slide, Coyote Point, and Sam McDonald County Parks. This is our third round, so this will add up to 9 park posters. We had 60 entrants, so our jury of 6 have their work cut out for them to go through those. I think it's technically 58 submissions and try and narrow it down to 3. I have taken a sneak peek, and you guys have a very difficult job because we have some very, very talented people. We are, of course, looking for a diversity of styles and a diversity of artists. We just really like artwork that is saturated colors, and that, you know, we don't really look for abstract art. We want it to look like San McDonald Park, or like our Memorial Park poster has an image of a tent in the redwoods, and people are like, that's Memorial Park. So same thing for these next 3 parks. Keeping with the art theme, we are working with Compass Point Mentorship on the next restroom mural. So if you've been to Coyote Point, you saw the very first mural. Thanks to the interpretive team for providing guidance on how to accurately represent that park with artwork. So this summer, we're going to do it at Flood Park, at the restroom building right by the large multi-sports playing field. So there's going to be some back and forth between the park rangers and the foundation and the youth artists to create, again, artwork for every side of the restroom building. And that is a part of the summer camp that will happen at Flood Park. And then we are in event season. The foundation is putting on a lot more events. We've got the Spring Fest at Quarry Park coming up on April 25th. The foundation has been doing more forest and coastal therapy outings in the parks, which are very well received. We are going to be starting a nature journaling series with one of our celebrity poster artists, Amy Chang. So that will start April 10th. And then we're going to be doing a pole hiking demo for our donors. So just a lot more events happening all the time, because we feel it's a great way to meet the moment and build community and get people off their screens. So those are some of the highlights of the Parks Foundation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
What is pole hiking?
It's when people use
Okay.
Yeah, and so we have someone who wants to show correct techniques.
Yes.
So that people feel confident hiking far into their elder years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. That's
And our person, they have a bunch of poles, so they'll just bring them as people can borrow them.
Yeah, we get to see those posters.
The posters,
Yeah.
we have a store online. It's a Shopify where we sell the posters.
Oh, okay.
And actually, I think the county attorney's office we're working with them to get the large version.
You are, yeah.
So we are actually finalizing that as of today.
Amazing.
And you would love to see what they look like once they're.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna put them up all throughout our office.
Yeah, because
Yes.
this is the first time we've done, because we sell them at 11 by 17. I can't remember what size we're doing them, but they're bigger
I don't recall. Yeah.
and they look really good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah. So that's
I'm excited. Yeah, well, definitely you're invited.
Okay, thank you.
Come check it out. Yeah.
Thank you. So yeah.
Fabulous. And how are you, how are you doing with planning for summer staff and programs?
I mean, we fund the
Yeah.
Crumb Clean interns at Memorial Park. So we fund that internship position as well as the bilingual intern. But yeah, no, spring really is the kickoff to the busy season of events. I mean, we have the Pacifica Beach Coalition Eco Fest.
that's right. Yeah.
We'll have the Soul Stroll at Coyote Point. And then we're going to have the Summer Fest at Coyote Point. We fund a lot of field trips to the park, so those are ongoing. We're introducing forest therapy to some of the kids groups that we work with. And there's more. I'm just blanking right now, but there's a lot. Oh, yeah, and then we fund something like 6.
We're doing 6 this year.
We fund 6 camping trips to Memorial Park over the summer. So this will be the 3rd summer that we've done it, or 4th? 4th. The 4th summer, and so it's been increasing. The first summer it was 1, then it was like 2, and then it was 6. So it jumped. We have a lot more groups than weekends available, so it's going to be a little bit of on a rotating basis.
Do we still get a group from North Fair Oaks to
We
that?
do have a group from North Fair Oaks. We might have 2 groups from North Fair Oaks. Sienna Youth Center.
They are the only group that has not responded yet.
Okay, so maybe Sienna Youth Center and Redwood City together.
We also have
Redwood
City
together.
We did them last.
You know, they're doing addition.
together.
Together and maybe not Sienna.
We're just waiting for them to come back to us.
Yeah.
But also Puente. Are they one of them?
No,
Boys and
it's,
Girls Club.
Boys and Girls Club of the Coast Side, Latchkey, which is out of Daly City,
Casa,
Redwood
no,
City
Familias
together.
Unidas.
Familias Unidas, thank you, with Ninfa, and Sal.
Oh yeah, Sheriff's Activities
yeah.
League. They're the
Yes.
newest one.
Yeah. And then Sienna Youth Center, I think they're trying to figure out if they can't do it, but if not, then Casa Circulo is very excited.
Yeah.
They've been three times, so we're
Rotating them out in case there's too much demand.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely, it's Friday to Sunday. The insurance has people out there leading outings. We fund the food and the transportation for them to get out there. And the kids seem to have I mean, these are kids who have probably never seen the redwoods before, so it's a very magical experience.
Cool.
Many have probably never been camping before.
And many, and we've
I've never been camping.
sports basement, and so it's the whole experience. Set up your tent.
What's the age group or?
Kind of tends to be.
we recommend over 8 years old, because it's generally just the youth with some chaperones from their community center. Although we do have like Familias Unidas is generally families that go, but we gear it towards youth, so 8 through high school.
Okay.
And then usually parent chaperone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had, through the chair, I had a question for Michelle. Thanks for always bringing it. Thanks for coming, always prepared and sharing a wealth of knowledge, especially for the community. Forest therapy, and I did, when you mentioned that, I was reading that a lot of our children, I don't have any small children, but a lot of our children benefit from going outdoors and experiencing this. Do they have access to, do they use the forest therapy as a means of like a psychologist or someone to see nature as, hey, it's okay to come up here. We want you to experience this, and maybe you can shed a little bit light on it.
There's like 2 parts to it. One part, we've been having conversations with the Parks Department about actually certifying a trail as a forest therapy trail.
Oh, wow.
So that's something we would like to continue with you, Emma.
Yeah.
And so, and this is really based on a Japanese idea called Shinrin Yoku. And so the idea is it's not about hiking to a destination. You really slow down. The events that we do are 3 hours. People are told to unplug. And you're led through a series of activities like breathing exercises and then like utilizing your senses one at a time. So for example, if we're at the beach, going to like stare at the ocean and just look at something that's moving for 10 minutes. We come back as a group and people just share how they feel. And you walk people through this over 3 hours. And the feedback we have been getting has been very much like, keep going in this direction. So those are the events. And then if we had like a certified trail, ideally in a, like Pescadero Creek County Park could probably be an ideal place because you don't want it to be Hutter where there's tons of people coming by all the time. But with the idea that there might be, it's very like minimal infrastructure, but perhaps there could be like those reclining benches where you like are just encouraged to lay down and look up at the trees for 10 minutes. And then there would be a little bit of signage, just letting people know like, this isn't so that you're hiking for, get to the end of the trail and come home. It's, you're encouraged at different points to just stop and like, listen, what do you hear? For 10 minutes. And so there's a lot of scientific research that backs this up that basically says, and so ideally we would have this part of, and we're working with the health system, but this is part of people's,
Connect the dots.
yeah, it's good for your physical, mental, and emotional health.
Right.
Hopefully, I like it. You hear nothing, just quiet.
Maybe birds or like
Yeah.
otter in the creek.
And this is
Two
no
favorites.
cost, right? Pro bono?
These are
like,
all free.
all
This is
free.
free for the community. Yeah. So our goal is, we work with a certified forest therapy guide. She's a myofascial release expert. So really kind of helping people relax into their bodies, calm your central nervous system. And so we just hope to do more and more of these as we dial it in and get better at putting these events on. But yeah, it would be fun to do an actual certified trail. I was actually thinking of Lomamar.
Yes.
I think
really
Lomamar would be
nice.
great.
Really nice.
Yeah. So
Especially if you make it all the way back into the back over
Yeah.
there. It's beautiful.
it's underutilized. There's a little bit of parking. It's
Really
tranquil.
nice, yeah.
So, anyways, just planting the seeds here.
Yeah.
I have some stuff happening outside.
Yeah, actually was just having a conversation with someone from Voices of Recovery.
Yes, we work
And-
with them. Yeah.
Yeah, just saying, why don't you do your something
We're doing one with Life Moves
in the park? Yeah, like when they do their intention setting or something.
Yeah.
Rather than do it in a classroom.
But even I'm thinking of child welfare, which they have the receiving home
Yeah.
for transitional youth. That
Yeah.
might be a good opportunity because they're always looking for stuff to do outdoors, weekends or long weekends when you're in transitional housing and or in custody.
So so Christina on my team, we're sending her through the forest therapy certification program. And she's Spanish speaking and she works really well with kids, which balances out the woman that we work with. Because we do want to bring this more to children and teens as a way for them to learn to self-regulate and know that this is a ideally easy resource for them to tap into.
Well, child welfares are children that have all been removed from custody. So they're in custody in a child welfare and they're not in placement yet. So weekends are long, hard. And so they're, instead of just being indoors in the receiving home,
Right.
which is a, housing, which they don't have a foster home. It's a group home, so it might be a good place to do because they're always looking for some stuff to do.
Thank you.
Well, that is amazing.
Bravo.
And it's really amazing that our parks are shaped as a wellness asset,
Yes.
right? That's a value we can't really capture with dollars at all. Really important. So thank you for the work you do to bring that to the parks.
Thank you.
Sorry, I can't let you go yet.
Oh.
Are there any public comments for items 6.1?
We do not have any hands raised in Zoom and no speaker slips for this item.
Okay, then now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you.
Thank you,
Great work
Michelle.
as always.
Yes.
Awesome.
Item 7.1. So welcoming our new commissioner, I would like to invite you to really introduce yourself to us, to the public, where you live, your background, what brought you to the commission. And then each of us, I'd like each of us to also introduce ourselves. And again, just letting our new commissioner know who we are. And
Yeah,
how
what you bringing to the table, my man?
Exactly. What do you want to do? We're going to put you to work
Sure,
right
yeah,
now
put me
in
to
our
work.
next item.
You on the hot?
So think carefully before you
just-
say what you do.
I just signed up so I could sit here.
Yeah. You're in the middle of an afternoon.
And I got they came for a pen. All right. Well, you know my name. Let's go just chronologically. I am originally Dutch, born in the Netherlands or Holland. There's many names for that little country in Europe, and lived there till I was 18 and studied primarily environmental sciences, and been abroad for that, and then finished doing a PhD in environmental sciences in Sweden. And from there, 20 plus years ago, I moved here to the United States, and always been here in this San Mateo area, Belmont, Foster City, and raised our kids here. Pretty much now empty nesters. Been soccer coach for AYSO for many years. Helped out with San Mateo Little League. doing scorekeeping.
American or national?
National. I gotta ask the brains of the family. So always been to a lot, mostly sports related parks. We've always been very active. We've been hiking tremendous amounts through all of San Mateo, and I bet you we haven't seen half of it yet. Had very interesting experiences and encounters. Still haven't seen the big one, the mountain lion, which we would like to, but see bobcats, and it's just amazingly inspiring. But now we're a little bit more local. We have a dog that we walk a lot, so we do go to a lot of parks with that one where it's allowed to go, which is fantastic. You meet a lot of other people. So with that, at some point, like I said, you become empty nesters. Then I think it's time to give back, to help those parks where I kind of go. We've been to these sports parks, but all there is sports. There's a lot more than sports to it. So when I applied. I have what I call the CARES framework. So I think community obviously is extremely important. Affordability. So for example, it's free to go to these therapy trails, which is amazing. Recreation, of course, obviously. Environment or education. So we can educate people about nature, but also about the environment. In many ways, environment is very broad, so I have an environmental background. We can talk all day about climate, but we can also talk about pollution. Pollution comes in many ways, from noise to throwing away your plastic bag, what happens to it. But from a positive perspective, not punishing people, but from a positive perspective, how can they contribute to a cleaner environment? I think that's very important. Not always say it's bad to drive your car, because it doesn't resonate with people. But positive, right? People like to get presents. They don't like to pay bills. That's just the way it is. I've been a postal carrier for a long time as a part-time job, and people love to get presents. They didn't like it when I served them because we had to serve them. It's amazing in Holland, and so that's why I decided, how can I connect? And I saw this position. I was like, this is a great way to engage. And then the last one of I told you, environment. So you can, and safety, of course, right? It's always an issue. There, it's in a nutshell. It's great.
Fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I really look forward to getting to know you better over
Thank
the
you.
term. I'm going to start with our newest commissioner, next newest commissioner, and just let you introduce yourself. Where you live, how long you've been involved with the city, and your passions and interests as well, just so we all get to know each other.
Brooke Setzer. I've spent virtually my entire life in the San Francisco Peninsula. I was born in the city. I was raised in Millbrae, and I live in Menlo Park, North Fair Oaks, actually, as someone knows. Worked for 30 years at HP, leading finance and marketing teams. Left that about 4 years ago and really started getting into public service. I joined the community council in my unincorporated neighborhood. And what that really exposed me to was kind of the needs of the people that live there. I started thinking other ways that I could contribute besides my local community. And the two things that really struck me as being really important were transportation, the ability to get around as the Bay Area becomes more and more crowded, and also access to open space. Yep. So about a year and a half ago, I joined the board of Samtrans, vice chair there now. And I guess I've been here about 6 months, is that right?
Yeah,
Something like that. Yeah, so yeah, it's keeps me busy and kind of aligns with the things that I'm really interested in kind of in this next stage of life. So that's where I'm at.
Interesting.
Thank you. Yeah.
How you doing, man? Man, this room is hot. You just brought like a jar of hot sauce, man. You just brought it. This commission just got a little more flavor, man. Let me tell you, I'm just amazed and just what wonderful background that you bring. And I think it always it's like a locker room when you have different players on the same team, but they all have different personalities. So you have, well, if it's football, it's 60 different personalities. If it's basketball, it's 15 to 20 teammates, different personalities. So the background that you have overseas and what you've done here is magnificent. I'm coming up on 10 years on this commission, believe it or not. Don't tell anybody. People in the room know, but it's been great being on this commission. I've done really really ever see myself as a commissioner, let alone, being on the parks. But it's been great for the nearly 10 years that I've been here, and I've learned quite a bit in every which way, from finance to economics to community service to engagement with a lot of people from different age groups. So it's opened my eyes a lot to now tell people about parks and what they need to know, and that our commission actually exists, and we do a lot of good things on this commission. I've been at SFO almost 30 years with my union, and do a lot of community engagement, help take care of my elder parents who can enjoy going to parks, if they come out. But no, it's finally put the pieces together, because we've been operating on very barely low octane, don't have enough money to pay the toll bridge, and we're grateful that all three commissioners can make it, and we been that way for nearly a year. So having you, my man, is a blessing. Thanks a lot. We appreciate another different different think tank of your background, and we look forward to having you here.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
So I'm Irma Rodriguez-Smitten. I'm the chair. I am in Pescadero, so District 3, which has by acreage, I think, the most parks of the county, and that's one of the reasons I ended up here on this commission is they are literally my backyard, and I love them dearly. By day, I do a couple of different things. One is running a community-based organization in Pescadero and Loma Mar, the unincorporated areas. We work on climate resilient infrastructure. So we're very closely tied to what's going on in the parks and the watershed in general, and how it affects our built environment and our local economy. What else? Yes. So very grateful, as Sam said, very grateful for you stepping in. We should be a commission of 5. We've been doing great work with what we have, but what we like to do is, our role is to really advise the Board of Supervisors and support the staff on key areas that we want to see expanded and continue to support throughout the park system, and also to interface with other departments, other commissions, especially, and the cities on how we can leverage all our resources and things like, again, the county's wellness programs, making sure the parks aligns with that, the county's sustainability goals, making sure the parks aligns with that. Not normally, but we also have usually joining us a liaison from the County Youth Commission. So we're trying to make an effort to reach out to the high school population and making sure that their concerns are heard, and also that they have some projects that if they would like to do in the Parks and Recreation or environmental space, we can support them with that. And we also have a liaison from the Commission on Disabilities. So making sure that as we're thinking about capital projects throughout the parks, that we are being inclusive of who we are building for. And we have some neat projects coming online this year or next, where we're making really great improvements in that area. So you'll hear more about those. I want the rest of the room, in case you don't know everyone, to go ahead and also introduce yourselves. I'm not sure if you know.
Yeah. Emma Gonzalez, the interim director for parks. Have been with the county for some years, and a lot of work is happening. Can't wait to kind of share everything and exciting things. Exciting as such as, when you talk about we talked about the number of visitors, the increased number, it's about 18% from years prior. The acreage, we have as much as stuck in our finance staff today, the controllers department is when people think of parks, you think of, okay, the playgrounds and the open spaces and the trails, but it's so much more than the work that the park system does about open space, addressing emergencies, when a tree comes down, addressing that, and really being creative, working with the foundations, working with all the friends groups. There's 7-ish friend groups, and working with the friend groups. First, we can't do the work without volunteers, and how important that is into our system. It's 240 acreage, and we continue to get more acreage every day.
Yeah.
We're currently working with if you look it up, then we have the county had what was called the Men's Honor Camp, which closed some 20 years ago, and it was under a different, correctional, the sheriff's department. It's now moving over to the park system.
Oh,
So
wow.
we have to now take over that space, that land, and look at fire mitigation and how do we improve it, but really making the experiences so much more like creating assets, wellness assets as well for everybody's. For everybody, the one thing I enjoy about the parks and coming over to parks is, and listening to others, is that the parks, there is no criteria. It's welcome to all.
Yes.
And everyone has an experience and everybody has a memory. And I am born and raised in San Mateo County, born and raised in River City, and North Fair Oaks, continue to live there. I have memories of all the parks, and I'm creating new memories. And so that's the kind of dynamics that this group will influence for years to come. And so I'm looking forward to listening to your experience and what you bring and the dynamics of everybody, because it's really, creating those opportunities as Michelle just gave her presentation. I'm already working on something because something else was happening at the same time and trying to put some grant proposal in really quickly before it closes the doors. But it's always looking for those opportunities and bridging those gaps. So looking forward to working with you.
Yeah, likewise. I'm just intrigued about all these multifaceted connections there are, and so many more ways than I could imagine what the parks are doing and what they're being used for.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
Exactly.
Please enlighten me.
I love your care approach. Community assets, recreation, and environment, and community is my background. Community engagement, marketing, communications. A deep believer in really making sure everything is open to everybody, regardless of. Yeah,
everybody should enjoy it. Young and old.
Yeah.
Especially young and especially old.
Yes. And Tracy, let me introduce you to Tracy. We'll just go around the table this way. Go ahead, Tracy.
Hi there, I'm Tracy Nappy. I've been communicating with you. It's so nice to meet you. I'm relatively new to parks. I've been with parks for only 3 years. Prior to that, I worked at the San Francisco Zoo for over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
So I was very lucky to bring my passion for wildlife, environmental education with my focus and interpretation into parks. And I think it's, I've grown up in San Mateo County. I walk in parks every weekend with my husband. My kids, my son runs in parks. My daughter goes tide pooling and sees octopus. I have a great role in that I get to work with both the office staff and with the interpretive division, focusing on community engagement, helping anywhere help is needed in the office. So it's really wonderful. I mean, you can't complain when you get to take 50 people on a hike in parks on a Saturday.
Right. No,
it's a pretty good way to spend a Saturday.
It's not bad. I look forward to working with you.
She does a great job in we have an amazing interpretive team. Absolutely incredible. Programs are just, we've raised the bar every year. It's really impressive with the community engagement. I'm Scott Lombardi. I'm the superintendent of operations. I pretty much oversee all the operations in all the parks and over the rangers and seasonal staff. We kind of keep it all together. We're generalist rangers. We have limited capacity with the law enforcement, but we do work with the sheriff's department, CHP and others, DEM, emergency response. But we do most of the repairs, most of the tree work, the handwork, carpentry, electrical, plumbing, most of it's done in-house. So when you go through the parks and you see what's in the parks, from benches that are built to tables that are built, when you get out to Fitzgerald, you'll see the whale skeleton that they have on the deck out there, and the interpretive team. We have an amazing melting pot of people, very, very talented, and we're very fortunate to have them. I've been with them for 20 years now.
Yeah.
So the infrastructure, you're the one who built that. It's pretty much.
What's that?
All the infrastructure, that's you guys.
That's us.
That's us.
That's us.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
He's being very modest
Yeah.
about the work that he does and the team does. Having come from, and I've worked at the county for a few decades. And when I've had the opportunity to go out and see the work that they do, I mean, it is top notch. They do it with such pride. I'm proud to be part of that team, but the work that they do is just, you could see the ownership, the stewardship, the pride that they do, and they're just kind of all hands on deck, get it done, but that's through Scott's leadership. And so I really acknowledge all the work that really comes through. Yes, 75% of the team that reports to the team of 88 staff.
Oh, wow.
And most of it being 75% are park rangers.
Yeah.
Again, we have a large acreage.
Yeah.
And field work that's out there, and between the interpretive and the maintenance of the operation and the capital improvement projects that are
Yeah.
happening. That really is, you'll get to hear and learn of all that.
Yeah,
and
fantastic.
It's amazing all the work that's happening.
Yeah. I had one question there. Remember we did this hike? There's this somewhere where there's apparently was a downed airplane from the 50s or something. Are you familiar with that
That's
one?
Mid-Penn Properties.
That's
It's
amazing.
corporate. Is that something you guys take
Office
care
airline.
of or something?
No, we don't
No?
take care of
that's-
it.
No.
They have park.
Yeah.
I've had a couple other airplanes come down in a park system.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. I mean, the history, all that stuff's
Pillar
fascinating.
Point Bluff and Seal Cove. Yeah. Yeah. We have interesting things happen.
Yeah,
you
I'd like to
never
hear
know.
stories.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
That's fantastic.
Do you want to hear from me?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
I'm the least important person in this room. I'm covering for my colleague Craig Baumgartner, who is the attorney who advises parks. I'm a chief deputy, so I manage Craig, and he's unable to be here, so I'm covering for him. He is much better than I, and so you'll get to know him. But I was born and raised in Santa Cruz County, also an outdoor area with beautiful parks, and live in Belmont, so also in District 2, close to you. I have two kids, 12 and 15, as I said, I'm a chief deputy. I've been with the county for about 12 and a half years. I oversee, many different clients, and all clients are created equal. Some are more equal than others. Parks being one of them. It's just like a really, really great. That was Orwell, by the way. That was Parks. Exactly. Well done. Parks is just a fantastic client. They just do such good things, and it's so nice to be able to go out and be like, yeah, I had a part in this. It's really cool. So and the parks in San Mateo County in particular are just stunning. I mean, just like it's hard to say that there's like a crown jewel, because they're all just so beautiful in their own way. So anyway, it's a privilege when I get to come fill in for Craig when he's unavailable, and this happens to be one of those days. And so, but if you need anything, feel free to reach out to Craig, and he'll help you. I'm kidding. You reach out to me too. You're as responsive as possible. But congratulations and
Thank you
welcome to the commission.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
In terms of policies and procedures where we adhere to, county guidelines, I don't know if they pointed out to you, there is on the website, under county boards and commissions, there is a training video for new commissioners to, just kind of go through the standards of practice of the county. And then on the Parks Commission page at the bottom are all the videos from past meetings
Okay.
or meeting minutes. If we ever
Yeah,
refer
right.
to something and you want to look up what we meant.
Yeah.
We can all
Okay.
put that out. Is that all the welcoming? Tracy's gonna get you set up with parking passes as well as
Yep, got
Brooks,
that one.
and
Yep.
we're good.
Doesn't have to do a Form 700.
This
You
early?
prob-
It's taken care of. Yes.
Assuming office, Parks Commissions, they're required
Yeah.
filers. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're required to.
Okay.
He's the community with them filled up.
Yes, within
Yeah.
30 days of appointment.
Yeah.
Yep, you get the file. So thank you for having
I suppose we should allow public comment on 7.1.
Now calling for public comment on item 7.1. Okay, we do not have any speaker slips for this item and no hands raised in Zoom.
Okay. So 7.2, our 2026 commission work plan and items for future agendas discussion. So I want to just spend 20 minutes or so, or longer, maybe a little bit longer, but at least 20 minutes on this item. This is just for discussion. This is to lay our groundwork. Now that we're almost a full commission, we kind of been delaying this conversation because we didn't feel it was fair for three of us to make assignments for people who weren't even here yet. But the work plan that we did last year, we approached it by simply talking about our areas of interest and areas that the public had relayed to us through public comment and other communications as, you know, items that they wanted us to pay attention to. And so we organized that into 4 key areas of work, plus our overall evergreen, I guess, mission of budget policy and performance, just to kind of give us some focus to what we were doing for how we put agendas together, what conversations we have, the presentations that we bring into the meetings, and what we want to relay back to the Board of Supervisors as areas to highlight. So that's how we approached last year's work plan. And this year we need to refresh it, update it, add any other interests that, you know, we may feel are appropriate. And I wanted to start by kind of asking my fellow commissioners whether we want to look at this almost, since we're already in March and our meeting calendar is such that 3 of our remaining 8 meetings will be on site. So we typically don't do any deliberative work when we're doing site visits. So we really only have 5 constructive meetings for the remainder of the year. I wanted to ask if maybe we wanted to consider making this essentially an 18-month work plan to kind of forecast out to 2027 so that we don't feel like we're limited by what we can accomplish in the next really only 4 meetings. There might be a little bit more continuity if we just extend our vision out to the end of 2027. So that's my first item of just opening up for discussion, and we will link before we dive into categories and ideas.
I think that makes a lot of sense. It's a chance to, you know, look at the areas we're interested in, maybe try some things. Some things work, some things don't. Things that don't, we don't carry into 2027. Gives us that opportunity. And to your point, it's been a while since we've done this, so let's give ourselves some runway to figure out exactly what we want to do.
What would be the pros and cons if you do it longer or shorter?
From my point of view, doing it longer makes it a little bit easier to, you know, if we were to say this is an area of interest, we feel we need to form a subcommittee or a working group to gather more data. It gives us a little more time to do that meaningfully, particularly if we want to collaborate with other departments or other commissions. So that's the pro side. The con side is that, you know, 18 months is, I don't know how the commission will shift. We elect new chair and vice chair every year. So next year's leadership has the, you know, option to just check everything. Okay. That's fine, right? I mean, yeah, so.
Okay. That sounds more like an administrative problem than.
I just kind of want to chime in just for a second. Being a senior tenured commissioner on this with nearly 10 years. When I came in nearly 10 years ago, it was fairly senior already. Like there were not brand new commissioners, not 1 year, 2 year. They were long-term commissioners. So 18 months is pretty much a track that we should stick and having a backbone. I think, as you said, the commission could change and from now to 18 months, who knows? God willing, we're all still here. We don't know that in terms of this commission. I think it's been quite a while since we have dived into, as Vice Chair Esser has said, it's been some time since previous chairs that we had this action plan and work plan. So I think it makes sense. I think we have a new commissioner. We are close to igniting, and I think the room is hot. So I think we have what we need. I mean, I'd like to see 5, but I think we can start those swimming lessons, and we can start diving into, whatever work plan, action plan it is that you have in mind. Let's start. Let's run with it. And you're at the helm of it, so I think it's a great idea.
That sounds great. I appreciate that. I do want to make sure we are flexible for whoever does. There is a 5th person who will come in, and like last year, we may have one of us, unexpectedly have to retire from the commission. So it will be flexible, but I appreciate having a longer runway to look at things, because I think it makes it easier for us to really put some meaty tasks in it. So that being said, too, I should also state that the goal of today's discussion is not to take action, since we don't have anything formally in the agenda, but to, again, put their drafts together, put our ideas together, and so that when we come back for our next working meeting in May, we will have it drafted up for review and final approval. So, and maybe, I'll over the meeting calendar at the end, but so looking at the work plan, the way it's was set up is that we had, three priority areas plus budget, policy, performance. The 5th priority area was like the catch-all for things that we didn't have a lead for, and we never really got to, because again, we were light on bodies, but that's okay. That's the way it was designed. Input on whether these are the right priority areas, or do we want to choose a new framework? I kind of like the CARES acronym, and it really fits, and it might be a little, might be something we can think about and also look at grouping topics under. I guess I should also say that I think part of doing the priority areas this way was because we also felt that it kind of aligned with the park's main structure, where visitor services were sort of rangers and interpretive team. Facilities and infrastructure is another kind of chunk of topics we typically talk about, and then natural resource management is, another area that kind of naturally aligns with the way the Parks Department is organized, but again, it doesn't have to be that way. So if there are any particular things that also jump out at you all, and that you say, you know what, we didn't tackle this last year, we really need to, I really want to move on it. Yeah. Hard homework assignment. I'm making you do working class.
I kind of have my hat on that says part of our role is advising the board of supervisors. And a couple things that come to mind is, first of all, is there anything that we can do? In full disclosure here, I worked with Emma when I was chair of the North Fair Oaks Community Council. So I developed a certain skill set of being able to ask Emma for stuff. She really appreciates it.
Yeah,
Ask her for stuff,
course. I
so
love
we can kind of work around that.
Okay.
The stuff that I'm thinking of is soliciting community input. Well, two sides of it. First of all, kind of an outreach effort, an awareness effort for people that aren't familiar with the parks, the number that we have, their geography, that kind of thing. If there's any kind of countywide communication that we can leverage to make the 700s that the parks have, where they are, what they are, that kind of thing. And then the flip side of that is getting input from people like that, people who actually, use the parks in terms of what would you like to see in terms of projects or accessibility improvements or anything like that. So it's a back and forth kind of communication thing. It doesn't have to be a big effort. I think if we get the low hanging fruit, people who are interested in, people who have an interest frequently visit the parks and doing their input as far as improvements they'd like to see, that would be great. I don't know. Is that something that we could piggyback other kinds of countywide?
We're doing some community engagement happening right now for Coyote Point. But I think that community engagement can happen at different, you have the OCA team that's out in the community at all times.
Yeah. Well, that was the model I was thinking of,
Yeah.
to be quite honest with you.
And we can still tap into it if it's something of interest. But we have a window opening right now that we're looking for feedback for Coyote Point with the playground. And that's from
Is April 8th to 22nd, approximately.
Are we soliciting that at Coyote Point, or is it a broader?
It'll be a broader, and so it's a broader, and I know that Tracy and the initiative team, we're going to tap into OCA to see if they could help us. OCA is the Office of Community Affairs. I have the CEO office or the County Executive's office. Sorry, I'm using one of the things.
I'll get used to it.
And really, the intent is to, as talks about, is really hearing from our community, not just from those that use digital access, but really from all perspectives. I'm a person, and Brooks knows, I want to hear from the butt of it. I want to hear from my Abuelita. I want to hear from, I also want to hear from each of you. But the community that traditionally is not, the voices aren't heard. The community that I also want to make sure that we kind of from a grassroots approach. So we have within the county executive's office, there's an entire team that does a grassroots outreach. And so really tapping into them when there is community engagement needed is something of interest that we do have access to. So that's something that we want to explore. But there is some data out there already that Carla and the team have done that we could also just tap into and kind of say, okay, let's kind of brush that off and see what's out there.
Well, you mentioned earlier the numbers that are looking good, how our attendance is up like 18% or something like that. Anything we can do to help out there would be terrific.
Yep. Discuss and elaborate on this is our roles as ambassadors in the parks. And I know we kind of joke about this, about having a assignment to visit a new park every month. But then to be out there, we can elevate that and make it a part of our work plan. We can strategize it, in any way. But and then if we do have some specific things that we can agree we want to get feedback on, work on that a little bit more. One of my other questions in when I was thinking about this work plan and also in May, we will be hopefully, or at some point, going to the Board of Supervisors with just kind of a status report of here's what we did last year kind of thing. And some more challenges or concerns is, actually getting more public participation either at meetings or in general in this for this commission. We moved our meeting to 3:30. We used to start at 4. I'm wondering if that has impacted the community engagement, what we are getting or not getting any longer.
It's tough.
And I know that, but I know some commission meetings that meet at 7 p.m. also don't get a whole lot of public comments.
When
So
we look at North Fair Oaks, and what I've noticed over the last 3 or 4 years that I've been on there is our attendance is the same. It's very, very, we get a few people that are at all of our meetings. Put something on there that really impacts the community, the Synapse School thing. I don't know if you're familiar with it. There's a school in North Fair Oaks. They want to expand their campus. Some people like it, some people don't. 40 people showed up at our meeting. It was earlier this week. I don't remember. But point being, when there's compelling things on the agenda that a group of people get excited about, you'll get attendance. And if not, it's been my experience now that we just don't, for whatever reason, people don't turn out.
yeah, so that makes it a little even more important that we do find ways to outreach in the community.
Yeah. And that's a 7 o'clock meeting too.
And that-
council, so it doesn't conflict with the day of school.
Yeah.
That's also something we can support and do too, is, promote, maybe, make things more visible. If there's a hot item, something of interest, elevate that, get that out to our community and try to engage and get more attendance. I'm looking and I wanted just to share, you have 2.6 million annual visitors that access our parks and 16,000 visitors of the
Mhm.
That's a lot. And so there's an audience definitely that's there. People, and of course, and all the volunteers, there's hundreds of volunteers. And so I think that right now you guys have as you start to develop your work plan and have those items of interest, I think that we could definitely support and increase that kind of promoting. Come, let's do this item. Come, we can do things like that.
We don't have any breakdown on that 2.6 million, do we? And by that, I mean.
That was
okay,
based on 2024, so I don't have the
700
2025 total numbers.
700,000 people in the county. The average county resident visits the park three times a year.
3 times.
Yeah, this is 3
But
times.
we've got people for here 5 times, and a lot of people
Yeah.
come at all. That would be interesting.
Well, and I don't know.
I mean, there's no way to collect
Out on the
that.
trails, because you go out to the trails, you can slow your camp.
Yeah,
I mean, you have the same regulars that go out there
Yeah.
every day, and they just have a commitment to it. And then you have, we're developing a new wellness trail. And you're gonna have new people. And then, of course, you got me who had never been to some of these camps, and I'm like, wow, this is great.
Have we done a survey like that? Like,
Of how
even
much they
just-
use? I mean, I think that would be hard to get
I'm
data
just
point.
thinking even informal, like, put up boxes at the entrance to each one of the parks, take one, fill it out, postage paid, send it in, just to get a little bit of, well, especially the people that.
I'm not aware.
We did the one,
There's the 2015 visitor survey.
2015 we did.
Yeah. Should be is it still on the parks website?
Yeah, we still have
Yeah.
that.
So that they have they had park rangers out there out on the trailheads, and they did focus groups.
That was in 2015.
It was like 2015.
10 years ago.
Mm.
And a lot's changed since then too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And we have there's so much more improvements then as well. Sorry, just.
Okay. Yes.
And they continue to grow the parks, right? You're gonna see a big interest in fun parks
What's that?
with the new playground.
Oh, yeah.
Coyote
the sports fields, yeah.
Because it
Street.
And use the screen.
can make people realize that they don't have to be passive consumers, but that they're
Yeah.
with little
Yeah.
effort
Mhm.
can make a big voice, right? So they
Yeah, it should be
feel
different.
that
That was it.
the park's just here.
Right.
They as participants can actually shape the park.
Right.
So that people, I think that's a message you probably want to get out to people.
Yeah.
You can feel that their engagement is positive and pays off.
You know, when I look at this chair and I remember this time we were kind of going through here, I look at partnerships and connections. I think that is so very, very important. I also see the commissioner who's no longer on the commission meeting.
Right.
That's on that.
That's good information that, yeah, I mean, that's up for discussion, but thank you for taking the lead, and that's certainly one way we can divide and conquer this work, is that if there's something that calls to you, let me know, and then I'm going to say, okay, shape that topic how you like, tweak the desired action, tweak the action plan, and then we'll bring it back and just roll it into one plan. And if something that you're interested in is not on here, write it up, and we can also shape that.
For me, the last said, lead to TBD,
Mhm.
the fifth one, you mentioned care,
Mhm.
it does fit right in there. So put my name on that one. It's accessibility, sustainability, so
Great.
the A of air and the of
And
care.
we can fill that, you
I can
can
fill
flesh
that.
that out.
Yes.
Yeah. Great.
Both chair and vice chair have some crucial points that they brought up, and I think if we, and this is a think tank, so I think we can start on, I know that time is of the essence, but just to quickly sum up in a nutshell, I think just when I came on this commission, I kind of look at myself as a community liaison, a community advisor, a community ambassador. That's when Supervisor David Canepa appointed me 10 years ago. Was that was the whole notion. Like, we have to think, and once we walk through that security checkpoint and sit down in this meeting, and after we even leave this meeting and go home and go our separate ways, and in that 30 days that we have until the next meeting, and me, I love the offsite meetings 1000%, but we got to think, how can we do better as commissioners, as community liaisons, and bring in more heat to this commission, in good heat, not bad heat. And it's really, I can remember one year, maybe 2017, 2018, there was a heavy subject on expanding one of the parks activities and sports. We probably got 100 people over at the Board of Supervisors chambers. So if it's a hot subject, you're gonna get hot people come in there. If it's a bad ham sandwich, a bland piece of bread, you're gonna get little to no interest. So if it's a hot topic that draws attention, that lures people in, knows it's exciting, you're gonna get people. But if you don't bring it, you're not gonna get people to come. Just bottom line.
So what do we think might be some of the hot topics that we might anticipate in the next 18 months? Because I want to leave space, make sure we leave space for that.
Am I
No,
making sense?
No,
I
you
mean,
are making sense. You're
I don't
getting
want to
back
jump
to
out of the car and
just as context. And this was just before I joined the commission in 23, right? So it probably would have been 2022. We had the dog
yeah.
group, right? Like, lots of, it was a working group of dog owners and not dog owners, and trying to establish, like, not only which trails would be accessible, but what
And
the
you had a
policies and
commissioner
practices.
and Commissioner Maryless, who was top, had full knowledge of everything.
Yeah, and so that was a really important process for us to have established, so that everyone could weigh in, so that people felt heard, and so that, policies got established. And Quarry Park is probably the most dog friendly park that we have. It has lots of off leash area, as well as non-dog area, dogs prohibited area, and we heard quite a bit of that for a while until that kind of, I hope it has gotten sussed out. We don't seem to, are we still getting lots of complaints about?
I think we're doing better.
Yeah.
Right now, we're
It took a while, but
combination of things going on with the mountain bike too, though. That's another one that we're just starting up right now too.
okay, yeah, so that was,
Yeah.
that you segued right where I was gonna
Yeah.
go, is like, I'd like to leave space for what we know what might be topics that we do have to, really have insightful conversations about, and maybe a subcommittee or a working group. And bikes are on my kind of not interest list, but aware of, as people have been asking me, what are the policies going to be around not just mountain bikes, but assisted bikes, right? E-bikes in the various classes, and people who are feeling that they can't hike as far as they used to, so can they use a power bike? And I think we're just gonna have more of those questions coming up, and that, again, if our role is to, try to set guidance or support one way or another, we need to be kind of aware of, and that's why, having some representatives, I think inviting people from the Commission on Aging and the Commission on Disabilities to come and inform us of their perspectives, what they are seeing and hearing, would be really fruitful. So that's kind of an area, I guess, I don't know if we wanna, if that's what we would call facilities and infrastructure, or if we wanna,
Might want to just put trail guidelines, because that's kind of what, I don't want to speak out of turn, but where that's kind of something we're working on right now, is we're trying to standardize the mountain bike trails that are in Quarry Park. The trail standards is what we just currently hired a consultant that'll be working with us for the next year, preparing those standards. So that might be a topic line for you. And we have information on the e-bikes policy that previous director wrote, Nicholas wrote it for Sawyer Camp and stuff.
so how, and Emma, maybe this is a question for you, but I know that Scott, you have a little background. Where is it how are the working groups initiated and put together that
This
the commission
working group will be, the public is invited to the mountain bike one.
Mhm.
And we expect to have all users. We expect to have dog users. We have passive walkers there, people that are pretty serious about their mountain biking and the trails that are out there. We're looking at the standards and signage, trying to make it safe for all that participate, since there is a liability to the county on some of these trails. And proper signage to keep separation of separate uses, because that's kind of like the horse community with mountain bikes and trail walkers. There can be conflicts, definitely.
We have a policy for Sawyer Camp now with regard to.
Yep.
So looking at trail guidelines might be a
It might just wrap it all kind of together.
Yeah.
Because that'll encompass ADA, because that's path of travel, and a lot of that is with surface roads, and it depends on the type of surface that's down. We'll give you accessibility, path of travel.
Okay, well, that was a really fruitful discussion. I appreciate everyone's input. I've taken down lots of all of our ideas. Again, those of you who have picked an area, want to noodle on that, and over the next few weeks, send me your comments, and then we can roll that up into a draft that we can put out for the next review. I want to briefly go over, before we move off this topic of work plan, our upcoming meeting calendar. So April, we will be meeting on site in Flood Park to look at the new playground. We hope that the slide comes.
It's really close.
Okay.
It's really close right now.
Which park was?
Flood
Flood
Park
Park.
in Menlo Park,
Menlo.
Yeah.
Very nice.
which is spectacular and beautiful now. Then we'll meet here in May in June, we hope we will be at Sanitas Creek, Don Horsley Park.
It'll be close.
Okay, so we'll stay tuned for that.
You know, weather out there in October is beautiful.
Oh, man, if I have to explain another 6 months
I'm
to
just kidding.
people.
I'm just kidding.
Remember, we all drive by that every day.
It is
No,
good.
we're gonna keep positive on that one. Yes, and then in July, we have no meeting because of summer recess, so, we will keep moving as fast as we can. The items for a future agenda, again, when you're drafting your specific area of interest for the work plan, look at these items for a future agenda and please let me know if there are, if these items slot into your area, because this is the way we put this list together has been from past meetings that we couldn't get to or the public asked us to look into. And so I want to make sure we are tackling this list in our work plan. And if there's something that we think is no longer relevant because it's out of time, we should just strike it off rather than keep continuing to carry it forward. Okay, any last comments or discussion on the item 7.2, the work plan? Any comments from the public?
Now calling on public comment for agenda item 7.2. No speaker slips and no hands raised in Zoom.
Item 8.1 is our commissioner updates, and this is our chance to tell stories and just update each other with no action, just information, things we've heard in the community, anything else we want to address, and certainly if we've done any really cool things like tide pooling at Fitzgerald last week with the interpretive team, which was spectacular, and I learned so much, and it was just awesome. It was a gathering of community leaders who went out there with the interpretive team in Golden Gates Park Conservancy as well. And yeah, it was just happened to be a beautiful spring day. If you've not gone tide pooling at Fitzgerald, highly, highly recommend it. Really awesome life out there. And great to see so many of the friends of Fitzgerald were out there leading kids groups through as well. So you got to see how that all works. So that was a great highlight of my past couple weeks. So anybody else have updates to share? Get out there. Walk and play.
Hiking, Sawyer Camp. That's always good. That was always nice.
Yes, it is. It's always a nice one as well. Okay, so I will call for public comment on item 8.1.
No hands raised in Zoom and no speaker slip.
Okay. With that, again, I think we already addressed items for a future agenda, which isn't actually a discussion item. So any other comments or questions?
Let's try to support Michelle at Memorial Park.
I'm so sorry I can't be there. Yes, I hope one of you can attend that because I am really bummed that I can't attend even my own backyard.
You can walk
I
there.
double booked.
March 21st, right?
March 21st. Yes. If you haven't seen that new nature center, it is really nice. It is
I forgot to add Michelle to the melting pot. She's a big part of it. She's been amazing over the years. We've done some incredible things in the parks. Thank you for your support.
Okay, with that then, we have to call for a motion to adjourn our
Sure.
right?
Very good.
Great, then we will adjourn the meeting at 4:48.
Wonderful.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Great work.